Wednesday, January 13th, 2021. It's time for my daily live. So we are a week out from the attempted insurrection, and our country is still intact. So I want to say that. Also, good news, or maybe it's mixed news. President Donald Trump has been impeached again. I think it's good news because I think that the only way that we can move forward towards unity is that there is accountability for what happened. That is the only way. And exactly, Dems carry the flag of hope. We have to move forward. And the only way that we can move forward, hey, Wayne, the only way that we can move forward is that we dole out some accountability, and that will give Republicans who have been following him actually the cover that they need to be able to break themselves from the trance. It's a trance. A year ago, this time, we were here, right? We were impeaching, we were watching the impeachment of Donald Trump last year, and he was being impeached for obstruction of Congress and abuse of power. And they did not remove him. Hey, Victor, they did not remove him because they learned his lesson. He was impeached and he had learned his lesson. It was a big deal. No president was impeached, and he got it. Except we're here again. Except we're here again, and it's a much more serious crime. It's incitement of insurrection. So we let him get away with obstruction of Congress. We let him get away with abuse of power. And he continued to wield his power in ways that aren't meant for good. He continued to further delude, nearly half of our country. He continued to poison the minds of folks. He continued to bully those elected officials who wouldn't bend to his will, and American people. He didn't learn a lesson. And that's what happens when you move forward without resolution. You have to have some accountability. You have to have some resolution. We cannot just say, he's impeached. We have to go forward because the lesson wasn't learned. We tried it, right? And you know the saying, right? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. We can't let him fool us. We gave him a chance. We gave him a chance. He didn't learn the lesson. So what we have to do, and it will be painful as we slug it out. It will be painful, but it will give folks, like in the movies when they put them under a trance and they're doing all the crazy stuff, and then they break from the trance and they wonder, how did I get here? I hope that that's what happens. I absolutely hope that as we go through and we explain and we lay out that, people are saying, well, he didn't incite it, and he had a plan of what he was going to speak, and those people were there, and how was he supposed to know? So I'm going to say this. When you see the gallows erected, that should have been a hint that something not good was going to happen. They erected gallows. That right there, he should have changed his rhetoric. He should have changed what he was going to say, because that was an indication that things were off the rails. If, everything else, hi, Bethany. Hey, Angela. Hi, Molly. If he didn't understand that it was off the rails by how frothy people were acting, the gallows should have been an indication. The Nazi shirts should have been an indication. There were all kinds of opportunities for him to not do what he did, for him to calm down the crowd who were clearly his followers, who would have clearly listened to him if he'd have said, okay, you guys are excited. I'm glad you're here to see me, but we're not going up there. I'm doing something crazy. Stay here. Listen to me talk. He could have done that, but that's not what he did. And that's why he was impeached today. So, I've been doing since the beginning of the year, I've been doing my daily name them and shame them. Today, the list is too long. So instead, I want to focus on how proud I am of specific Oklahomans at large, but some specific Oklahomans. Just today, I wake up to my feed, and there's amplification of the message all over the place. So Representative Monroe Nichols did an interview for a local Tulsa paper talking about how last week's events cannot stand without accountability. Senator James Langford is on the Race Massacre Commemoration Committee. And frankly, if you suborn the dissolution of the votes of Black people, you probably shouldn't be on a commemoration society focused on Black people. He needs to step down. Thank you, Monroe Nichols, for calling that out. The chair of the Oklahoma County Democrats, Robbie White, was covered in a story explaining the importance of standing up, the importance of our elected officials remembering that they're elected to represent us and not to serve Donald Trump. Thank you, Chairwoman White, for doing that. The chair of Oklahoma's Congressional District 3 in the Democratic Party, Amber Jensen, gave an interview to a paper saying the same things. We have to stand up and we have to remind them and hold them accountable to us. Mary Brannon, the candidate for Congressional District 2, she was covered in the paper saying the same thing. The chair of Canadian County, where I might add the reckless sheriff who was in DC resides, she came out and asserted what's important. We've got to remember that we're in Oklahoma. We're not far removed from that. And we got to hold our Oklahoma elected officials accountable. So thank you to all the Oklahomans who are going to, are making their voices heard and making sure that our elected officials know what's happening. Now, on that note, I also have to mention the affirmative action committee from the Oklahoma Democratic Party, namely Ali Canada, Sherry Lasky, and Cortez Johnson, for the efforts that they're doing in actually filing official complaints against our elected officials. We have to make sure that they remember they don't just represent the people that they like, they represent all of Oklahoma. They violated their oath and they need to be held accountable for that. So thank you, Ali, Sherry, Cortez. Thank you for following up with that. Those are kinds of things that we need to always be working on. We have to thank our elected officials when they do the right thing, when they represent us, and we have to hold them accountable when they forget that they represent us as well. So thank you for amplifying the message. Thank you for using your voice and saying what you need to say. So today is January 13th. If you live in a county or a municipality that has an election on February 9th, this Friday, 2 days from now, January 15th is the last day to register in order to be able to participate in that. January 15th is the last day to register to vote, to be able to participate in the election on February 9th. But continue registering people. If you haven't already, please go out to the Oklahoma State Election Board voter portal and sign up for your absentee ballots for the rest of the year. There's just a box, you click on it that says, I want them for the rest of the year. Don't pick a specific election, just register for all of them and they will send you all of them, as the time comes, and you'll have them hanging out in your mailbox and you can deal with them then. Everybody, don't miss your opportunity to vote. No matter how people are going to try to interfere with your right to vote, you have to show up. It wouldn't be that if it wasn't that important, they wouldn't be trying to steal it. So please don't ever miss an opportunity to register to vote. Other things that you can do to protect our democracy: vote, find a candidate to help, donate your time, donate your money, donate whatever resources you have. Help a candidate. They need help. Their election is coming up quickly. It's coming up very quickly. Today's the 13th. The elections are on February 9th. That's a little less than a month. They need your help. Dropping literature, making phone calls, sending texts, putting out signs, donating money, anything that you can do to help. And while you're at it, I have a birthday coming up in less than a month. And what I like for my birthday is for everybody who sees me, if you're watching me live or if you're watching me later, find 10 people to register. Somebody who will be 18 by February 9th, somebody who will be 18 in the next 3 months, someone who is off probation, someone who before now didn't understand the importance of voting. Find someone to register to vote. There are there are at least, based on a study done by an outside firm, there are at least 43,000 unregistered Democrats all over the state that we can find that are easy pickings. So go find you somebody registered in the vote so they can start participating in this wonderful democracy. I had more that I want to talk about, but I promised you guys yesterday that I was going to keep today light. So thank you all. Stay in the fight, but take care of yourself. Be safe. And you guys have a great one. I'll be back tomorrow at 4:15.